Hello and welcome to this special edition of Montclair News Lab, a preview of homecoming, all this week and of course this Saturday. I'm Erin Lawler.
And I'm Stefano Kadishi. First, we take a look behind the scenes of Red Hawk Sports Network as they get ready for the big game.
Last year, it was less resources. This year, we have so many more cameras. We have so many more opportunities between the groups to do things.
Then, the only football player from Montclair State to ever make it into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame, a preview of the film that's debuting at homecoming.
What was it like going down to Canton and working on this project?
It was a surreal experience. We spent probably some of the busiest 3 or 4 days of my Montclair State career and life there.
And lastly, we'll show you the itinerary for the fun weekend ahead.
This year's theme is Rocky's Nightmare on Broadway. It's a mix of Broadway and Halloween, since we're so close to Halloween this year.
All this on Montclair News Lab, Homecoming Edition.
We're here on the football field where you can almost sense the excitement that's just days away.
This place will be jam-packed with students, alumni, staff, and of course, athletes.
And covering it all is the Red Hawk Sports Network, streaming here on Hawk Plus. Devin Castillo takes us behind the scenes to see how everything came together.
I'm Devin Castillo with Montclair News Lab, joined with Professor Gitlin discussing production for homecoming. What's the difference between last year's production and this year's production for homecoming?
Last year, it was less resources. This year, we have so many more cameras. We have so many more opportunities between the groups to do things. So, for example, we had 3 small cameras. They were what were called Mevo cameras, which are really AI cameras. They're controlled by your phones. There wasn't a whole lot of usability to it. And we also switched on something called OBS on a laptop. We needed the Wi-Fi signal. We needed power. We needed all these different things. Now, we don't need that. BMO has come in. They're offering us 10 different cameras. We're working out of the control room in the School of Communication and Media. We don't need Wi-Fi. We don't need power. They're doing it all for us. All we have to do is focus on the pretty pictures. All we have to worry about is bringing the packages, the graphics. We can focus on content while they focus on the technology of it all.
Now, how does this new system of production that you're going to be using for homecoming impact Montclair?
I think what it does is give the kids an opportunity to do live television. We don't do a whole lot of live TV here. A lot of the big schools do it. We do taped live to tape, as they call it, or taped content that's plausibly live, or we edit later. We're not going to do that now. We are going to be straight up live. If something goes wrong, we move on to the next thing. We can't stop down. We can't redo something. That's the biggest thing, because in the real world, most of it is live when in sports production. So it's really giving these kids a chance to do something completely different.
And what type of groups or organizations are going to be involved in this production?
Everybody. I mean, I wish it'd be faster to make you a list of the people that weren't involved in this production. So you have Red Hawk Sports Network. So we are the overall sports. We're the core of it. We're the ones that are putting together the content. We're interacting with the athletes and stuff like that. Interns, the broadcast interns, they're the ones hosting and calling all the events. We have sideline reporters. Then you have Professor McClellan's class. He has a group of 22 kids, I believe it is, that are running in the control room. We have BMO. We also have a lot of other things. But I think the biggest difference is allowing McClellan and his team in the control room to run cameras, to be TDs, to be directors. We're going to have a few directors and producers in there, but I think his class is really going to be what sets it apart.
There's definitely going to be a change, a much bigger production. Let's check out the control room with Professor McClellan for the homecoming production.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Takes over 5.
I'm with Professor McClellan. What's going on right here in the control room?
So we're running a simulation for next week's homecoming football game. And obviously the cameras are not on the field, so we're trying to use studio cameras and just establish the routine, the visual routine, the sound mixing routine, just so that everybody can get a little bit of practice before game day.
And what type of experiences can students gain from being a part of the control room?
So every production has a unique set of problems, whether it's a sporting event, a narrative, a documentary, and the experience that they're getting here is a live production environment, right? We can't do a take 2 on a football game.
Yeah. As a Montclair State professor, what does it mean to have these new opportunities for Montclair State University?
So this is a really good experience. We're doing live 10-camera production, and every crew member has to know his or her job, and they have to anticipate what's coming next, and they need to know all the other jobs, just so that it's a well-coordinated effort that we deliver the highest production values possible.
Takes over 6. Because he hasn't done anything.
Perfect.
All All this equipment and technology doesn't mean anything unless you have the players here on this field. Montclair News Lab's Tia Singleton has that part of the story.
Today I had the pleasure of speaking to some of our very own Red Hawks and learning more about what life is like playing football here at Montclair State University. Brennan Ray, a defensive back for the Red Hawks, has been playing football since he was 6. He grew up in a family of athletes with football being a crucial part of life.
Homecoming is awesome. I think, pretty much everyone in the community comes out in homecoming. Montclair State football is big around this community. They love it. It's a very big culture thing. So we get the entire school here. It's a big whole day ordeal. It really feels like a D1 college football day.
Community support and family values are something Brennan's father taught him all about.
He's been training me ever since I was little. Unfortunately, he's not here with us anymore, but he's watching, and I'm continuing to play for him. I have 3 little brothers that are playing football as well, so they look up to me, and if I were to kick the bucket and quit, they would do the same thing.
Between drills, workouts, and classes, the life of a Red Hawks player is jam-packed.
I personally love pressure. One of my favorite kind of quotes is, "Put me under pressure, I'm a diamond."
Brennan is motivated by Montclair State's own diamond in the rough. Sam Mills may have looked small, but he played tall. Like many other Red Hawks, Brennan feels a special connection to Mills.
Sam Mills is a legend. He started as a freshman and came in here and had all these remarkable results. And when I came in here, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to come in here and start as a freshman, and I did.
Brennan says coming to Montclair State was one of the best decisions he's ever made. Here's Stefano with more on how Montclair State is honoring the Sam Mills story.
One of the highlights this weekend is the world premiere of a documentary on Sam Mills, the only Montclair State football player ever to be inducted into the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. This award came this summer, 17 years after Mills passed away. I sat down with student producer Jason Macarella to learn how the film came together. Jason, thank you for the opportunity to talk with you about the Sam Mills documentary coming out during homecoming weekend. I see you have a clip to show us, right?
Yeah, you want to take a look?
Let's do it.
We got some big schools represented, but I know there's some folks here from Montclair State, right? The Red Hawks.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Sam Mills for enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Melanie Mills and Jim Mora.
Thank you for this honor, for believing in Sam, and for helping to keep his story alive. Keep pounding, everyone. That's what Sam would want you to do.
Well, Jason, it's awesome that you had the opportunity to work on this documentary. What was it like going down to Canton and working on this project?
It was a surreal experience. We spent probably some of the busiest 3 or 4 days of my Montclair State career and life there. We were waking up as early as 6 a.m. We were coming back as late as 10 or 11 p.m. And it was just crazy being able to schedule ourselves to make sure we were in exact locations at exact times to capture specific footage and moments. And there was so much pre-production and planning that had went into it to make sure that we knew what to capture and when. So the fact that we were putting so much dedication and hard work into that 3 or 4 days, those 3 or 4 days were really busy and went really well. I was really happy with the outcome and really excited that we got the experience.
Wow. And Sam Mills, as we know, is the only Montclair State football player to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What message are you trying to get across through this documentary about him and his life, his career?
I think this is a great example of you can do anything you want. I mean, he was 5'9". He went to a Division III school. He was cut from multiple different professional teams. And this is just such a great example of keep pounding, as he said, keep motivated, stay on your track, and make sure that you can do anything you want as long as you keep your mind to it. And I think this is just such a great story of don't give up, don't let failure put you down, and just keep pounding, keep working at it, and you can do almost anything you want.
Awesome, Jason. Thank you for taking the time doing this interview. Stay tuned for the documentary. Don't miss out during homecoming weekend.
There's a lot more than just the big football game at homecoming. Crystal Durham talks to the student that's in charge of planning dozens of events.
Hello, I'm Crystal Durham, and I'm here today with the Director of Programming of SLAM, Jade Hunter. So Jade, tell me about what you have planned for homecoming weekend.
So for homecoming week this year, we have about 6 events, 1 each day and 2 on Wednesday. This year's theme is Rocky's Nightmare on Broadway. It's a mix of Broadway and Halloween, since we're so close to Halloween this year. Our first event is roller skating based off a Grease theme. Our second event is Slam's Chocolate Factory based off of Willy Wonka. And then on Wednesday we have 2 events, You Can't Sit With Us based off of Mean Girls, and then Disco Inferno, which is silent disco. On Thursday we're having a homecoming concert, which is the first one we've had in about 7 years. It's going to be in Yogi Berra. And on Friday we're having our block party, which is based off of Michael Jackson.
That's really cool. So tell me about what's one of the biggest events you really had to plan?
The biggest event we had to plan this year was the concert. Since it's the first time that's been done in such a long time, it took a lot of moving parts. And we wouldn't be able to do it without everyone in the university, like university police, parking services, dining services, everyone.
How do you plan on getting students really involved and excited for this event?
So this year, we're trying to get more students involved in volunteering. So anyone can volunteer for any SLAM events. You do get like special perks with volunteering, but you also get to see what we do behind the scenes for our big outcomes.
Okay. Is there anything you want to tell the people before homecoming week really gets started?
I think that everyone should take this opportunity to come out, be excited, and come out to a Montclair State homecoming.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Lots to do. Hope to see you on campus for all the events, and especially for the big game this Saturday.
Join us next week when we have full coverage on Homecoming 2022. Until then, I'm Erin Lawler.
And I'm Stefano Kadishi. Thank you for tuning in to this homecoming edition of Montclair News Lab, streaming on hawkplus.tv. Thanks.